Hi everybody, my name is Lena and welcome to another video. First of all, let me tell you something. I changed my mic because the previous one just completely broke down. So if there's something weird with the sound, it's because of that. I'm still trying to figure out how it actually works. So it might take me a while. Second of all, welcome to this video where I talk to you about the series that I really want to finish this year. I don't know about you, but I'm usually pretty lazy about finishing series. I don't know, there is something about binge read that doesn't really click with me. It has to be like a really easy read for me to binge read the whole series. These are not all my ongoing series. These are the ones that I really want to finish this year. Because I have, I don't know, like 80 or something ongoing series, something like that. I would do a video on that. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. The first one is Dune by Frank Herbert. This is book 2. I read book 1 last year and I was pretty okay. I didn't love it, but it was a fairly enjoyable read. So I've been wanting to continue with the series for a while, but everyone keeps saying that the series just goes downhill. It's incredibly bad, and that's really keeping me behind on this. The continuations are fairly short. This is not even 300 pages long, so I don't know, maybe I will actually read it. But yeah, I would really like to at least read the second one, because the second one is apparently still good, but the third, the fourth, completely disasters. I would really like to continue with the Conqueror saga by Kirsten White. This is actually a Black the Impaler retelling, and it's actually gender banned. And I really enjoyed the first one. But I have a thing with historical fiction. I don't really enjoy historical fiction when it's just that. You need to give me something else, like sci-fi or fantasy there. Because if it's just fiction, I'm not really into it. So I just put it aside, but I really enjoy Kirsten White writing. I really want to read the, how's it called? The Dark Descent of Elizabeth and Frankenstein. And I've been fairly interested in The One of Your Deception. So yeah, I really want to finish this series before jumping another series by her, because they will just keep piling up and I won't finish them. So it's time to give this one a go. Then I have here Valor by John Wayne. This is the second book in The Faithful and the Fallen, and I love Malice. It took me a fairly good amount of time to actually start reading that book, but when I finished it, I was just blown away by that ending. That was just like, great. But there's a thing with these books, they are so thick, and it's also a pretty heavy fantasy, even though it's more of a classic fantasy, you know, good old battle between good and evil. But there's something about them that doesn't attract me to read them. I want to do it because I know that I would enjoy the story, but I'm thinking about reading it and just like, oof, that is so dense. It's going to take me so much time to read them, but I would really like to finish it this year because I'm super excited to read the next series set in the same world, and I can't wait to see how everything unfolds. I really enjoyed the first one. It's such a good book. I would really highly recommend it to anyone who actually enjoys fantasy. But yeah, they are quite heavy, they are quite dense, and they have a really cool thing that is, we have the point of view of the villains too, and that is something pretty refreshing, and mostly in classic fantasy. But yeah, this is so good. Then another super thick fantasy. This is Lord of Chaos. This is book 6 in the Wheel of Time. I'm actually reading this one this month, but I would really like to finish the series this year. Even though I'm quite sad for it to be over, this series is super long. It's 14 books, and whew, man, I would really like to jump in the hype wagon for the Wheel of Time. I'm just really excited. I feel really attached to these characters already, and even though they are super thick, I think that the books are really easy to follow. well, not to follow, to read. There's not so many complicated things in here. And that's why I've been kind of reading in a fairly good pace. Although I'm kind of scared because I know that there are a couple of books in the middle that are not that good, and that is kind of worrying me, because if I'm bored with the book, it will take me forever to read. I'm not a person who usually DNFs books. I will just put them aside for a while, and when I'm in that mode, I will come back to the book. But I'm so scared because if it's going to be this long and it's going to be boring, that will be really tough. I'd also like to finish this YA kind of historical fiction. This is Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco. I read Stalking Jack the Ripper. It's been more than a year, I think, but I really enjoyed it. It was okay. It wasn't something I wasn't loving, but this is about Dracula. I mean, I can love vampires, so it would be really cool to actually read this one already. But the last book of this series came out last year, I think, in October, November. It was the Houdini one, I think. So since that came out, I've been kind of interested in actually finish this series. And also my stepsister is way ahead of me, and she's only missing the last book, and she says that it's fucking great. No, it's not the Houdini one. It's the Devil's one. The last one. Yeah, Houdini is the third one. But yeah, she's been really enjoying them, and I don't know, there's something above them. But as I've told you with the first one, I really have to be in the mood for historical fiction, because this is more of a, is it paranormal? But then it's not, you know, or kind of in a sense like the Sherlock Holmes type of books. And that is kind of a bummer, because, you know, magic is cool. But yeah, I really want to finish this. My favorite bookmark is in here. See, I tried to read this one. I would really like to finish this duology already. This is Monsters of Bertie by Victoria Schwab. This is book 2 and or Dark Duet? Yeah, or Dark Duet. And I read this Savage Song, I don't know, 3 or 2 years ago, and I was fairly surprised by it. I really enjoyed it, which is not what I was expecting, but the world felt really interesting. So I've been wanting to read this for a while, but I don't own the first one physically because I listened to it as an audiobook, which is really good actually. You should do that. But I have to buy both of them, and I'm just like, I don't want to spend money. So that's the only reason why I haven't read it yet. I actually heard that the ending is kind of divided. Some people really love how the story ends, and some people don't really like it. So I've been kind of, what if I don't like it? Because I really enjoyed the first one. So I've been really hesitant to do it, but I think it's time to finish it. Another series that it should be fairly easy to finish will be Altered Carbon by Rachel Merton. This is book 2, Broken Angels, and they are fairly kind of standalones between each other. But I read Altered Carbon last month, and I quite enjoyed it, even though there were too many titties for me. But I really hope that is not going to be the case with this one. And there's only 3 books out, and I think they're a little novel, probably. But yeah, I think that I could easily finish the series this year. And I've been starting to be in a good sci-fi kick, so I've been stepping out of fantasy lately. So I think that it should be fairly easy to finish it. Then I have here one of my greatest shames. This is The Last Mortal Bound by Brian Stavley. I read the first 2 books one after another. I was just like, damn, that first book was really good, and that second book was just as good as the first one. So I don't know why I haven't picked this third one yet, because I actually read the first one when I first joined book 2, but this has been sitting on my shelf for a while, and I think that it's time to finish it. The second book ended up in such a great finale. I'm so desperate to actually finish it, but as I read them so fast, I didn't want to finish it and be just like, oh yeah, series done. No, because I feel that if I read them super quick, I don't absorb all of it. I don't know, it's a fairly weird sensation. But if I binge read, I don't know, the whole series in a week, it would be just like, yeah, done. And I probably won't think about that series in a while. I wanted to give it a rest, and I think that it's time for me to finish it. This is such a floppy paperback that is making it super hard to actually grab it. But yeah, I'm super interested in finish this, and I really need to read the prequel to it because I've heard that it's actually fantastic, even better than the series. So I'm really excited. But yeah, I've also heard that this ending is not satisfying at all. So kind of scary. I would also really like to finish the Broken Earth trilogy. I read the 5th season a couple of months ago and I was just really confused, but I really enjoyed it. So I've been thinking about reading this book for a while. I haven't bought it yet, but I will probably will when this whole quarantine thing is over. Yeah, I don't really have any reason for not having read it other than I haven't bought it yet. But yeah, I really want to finish the Broken Earth series because I have tried so many series by this author and I really want to like her. So I think this is the trilogy where I would love her writing style, because I have started the Inheritance trilogy and the Dreamblood trilogy, is it called? And I didn't finish either of them. So maybe this will be the one, because I really want to read the City We Became, even though I haven't heard much of it lately. It was kind of hype surrounding the release, but since then I haven't heard anyone talking about it. Oh, and especially I'm going to finish the Lycan's trilogy this year. I haven't picked the 3rd book, The Light of All That Falls. Yeah, I always mix this title with the historical fiction one. I don't know the name right now, but yeah, I keep mixing the titles of those books. I really want to finish the series. I didn't pick the 3rd one up because I really enjoyed the series and I'm not kind of ready for it to be over. I own the audiobook for it because the paperback version that I own doesn't come out until October or August or something like that. And if I was able to bought it earlier, I would have already read it for sure. But yeah, I don't really want this series to end. It's so good and I feel like it's so underrated and not much people talk about it. But yeah, it's super great. Then I have here some sci-fi. This is Adrian Boyd by Peter F. Hamilton. And I have this here because this is part of the Commonwealth world that Peter Hamilton made. They are not companions, but they are all set in the same world. And there is like a total of 9 books or 8. I think it's 8. I have read the first duology and I'm currently on this one, which is the 2nd one. But this is actually a trilogy. So I've been really wanting to read this for a while. I think that I include this on some of my TBRs for last year, but I've been so tired that I haven't feel like reading it really hard sci-fi. And I won't say that Peter F. Hamilton's books are really complicated, but they have so many world building and so many things to understand that it takes time. And this one is not even that long. They are usually like 1,000 pages long, which is fucking insane. But yeah, I'm really wanting to read this and I will probably do it soon. So I've told you, I've been thriving in a really good sci-fi kick lately. So it will probably happen soon. The next one that I would really like to finish this year is Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence. This is the 2nd book in the Book of the Ancestors, and I wanted to have finished this series for the release or of the new trilogy set in the same world, but that definitely didn't happen because it comes out this month on the 31st or 30th. I don't remember, but yeah, it comes out this month and that's going to be pretty impossible. But either way, I really love Mark Lawrence. Actually, I have another book by him in this video, but I would really like to finish this trilogy. I loved the first one. It was such a good, refreshing kind of dark fantasy, but I just haven't been in the mood for magical assassin nuns, which is weird because who isn't in the mood for that? I really want to finish it this year. This is The Wheel of Osheim by Mark Lawrence. This is book 3 in the Red Queen's War. This book is set in the same world as the Prince of Thorns, so I read them in order, but I've been having a hard time connecting with this main character as much as I connect with York, which is saying something about me. I've been in this book for a while and I should probably read it. I read the second one in September. I remember that I had already made my channel, so it wasn't that long ago. But I don't want to push through it, not wanting to, because I really enjoy Mark Lawrence's books. So I don't want to go through this being just like, yeah, I'm going to push through it just because I want to read another trilogy by him. No, I will pick this when I'm in the mood for it, but I really hope that it's soon, because I don't like having the third one read. It's just like, it's the third one. We're almost there. Come on, let's do it. This is Scarlet Ties by David Hare. This is the second book in the Moontide Quartet. And I was so pleasantly surprised by the first one. It had a pretty low rating in Goodreads, so I was just like, meh, it's probably going to be okay, and that's it. But I gave the first one 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I was just like, damn, this is so good. So I've been really thinking about continuing with this series, but it's just the same thing that happened with Valor. They are pretty dense and heavy fantasies, so some days I'm just like, I want to read you, but I'm so fucking lazy, and it's going to take me so much time to read you that you will have to wait. It has so many good elements to it that I feel so guilty for not having to continue, and I'm actually super excited to read the next quartet, which is set in the same world as this one. That is called Sun Surge or something. The third book came out last month, and I've been super excited to read it since then. And now that I'm talking about it, I just kind of feel super interested on it again. I might throw it on my TBR pile for this month. But yeah, I definitely need a refresh from the first one because so many things happened and there are so many characters that I actually started this one because I own the audiobook and I listened to the first chapter and was just like, who the fuck are these people? Did I know them already? Are they new? But yeah, I definitely need a summary or something for the first one before continuing to the second one. Second to last, I have here Obsidian by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is book 3 in the Illuminate Files, and I love this series because of the mixed media on the books. I found the first one to be really refreshing using this format, and it's really, really easy to read. I don't know why, but everyone keeps recommending the audiobooks, and for me, they are so fucking cringy. I know, they're adults trying to be teenagers, and it's not the way for me. I think that you really need to read this book like this because it has chats and it has comics, you know. Don't use the audiobook for it. Or use the audiobook, but read the book at the same time. But yeah, I was really disappointed with the second one. I really enjoyed the first one. I gave it 4 stars and I gave the second one 2.5 stars. It was okay, but it felt like a copy of the first one. The story between the girl and the boy was exactly the same, and I have a feeling that the third one is going to be just more of the same. So I just been putting it up on the side and just like, do I really want to read this? But you know what? I refuse to DNF a series in book 3, so I'm going to push through it, and I will have just like a complete idea on the series. But yeah, I will probably read this for a readathon. Probably, yeah, 615. Probably another Tom Topple. And that's going to be it. At last, I have here Soul of the Sword by Julie Kagawa. This is book 2 in the Shadow of the Fox trilogy. The third book just came out and I've been really thinking about this series lately. So I think that it's time for me to actually finish it. because I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. It feels like anime but in book form, and it's super quick to read. And also I've been enjoying Asian inspired fantasy lately so fucking much. Actually, The Wolf of Farinjaro, I think that is fairly Asian inspired. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think it is. And yeah, with my recent love for the Sword of Kagan, I think this is going to happen soon. But yeah, those are basically all the series that I really want to finish this year. Let me know which series you are struggling to finish. Maybe we can finish some of this together. But yeah, that's going to be all for today. Please, if you be so kind to click the subscribe button or the like button, it will help me a ton. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!